Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Mayan, and welcome to Locked Out, a Yandere themed visual novel about a girl named Sally who is unfortunately locked out of her house during a winter night. Luckily, her neighbor comes to her rescue and invites her in. Nothing bad could happen, right? Real quick before we begin, I know I've been gone for quite some time now, but I'm back to recording visual novels. I always want to say thank you for all the support I get, and I appreciate it all the time, especially my anime ones. And I did get a brand new mic and setup, so visual novels will be back, and I will be playing some other games, of course. I do miss making content, and if there's any games you'd like to see me play, please comment below and suggest them, and I'll check them out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin playing. And as always, the info to play this game will be in the description if you like to play it for yourself. Please go support the original creators. It's so freaking cold. I can't wait to get back home and take a long hot shower. You really should have checked today's weather forecast. It's so much colder than expected, and it had been snowing since late morning, covering the city in a white blanket. The regret for your fashion choices hit you on the way home from work. Your sneakers were not made to walk in the snow. Bad girls don't get colds, your best friend would say. But at that moment, you certainly didn't feel like one. Human popsicle would suit you better. Luckily, you were almost back home. You could already see the small building where you lived. When you reached the stairs, you tried to clean the soles of your shoes before going up. There were only 6 apartments in the building, 3 on the ground floor and 3 on the upper one. Your apartment was upstairs, the 202 in the middle. It wasn't a big place, but it was more enough for you. The rent was great. It was a calm neighborhood. You enjoyed living there. And now, in this freezing night, it was your warm little piece of heaven. Huh? Where are they? When you opened your bag and reached for your keys, you couldn't find them. Pocket mirror, wallet, tissues, cereal bar, gel pens, empty hand sanitizer bottle, bills from last week's groceries. There was so much stuff inside your bag. No wonder you couldn't find what you needed. Come on. It didn't feel good to have your hands out of the warm pockets of your jacket. Pushing the unnecessary things aside, opening and closing zippers, checking the same place 3 times. No sign of the keys. A cold sensation hit your stomach. You tried to brush it off. Ugh. That cannot be. Did I leave them at work? The thought of having to go all the way back to the bar where you worked at exhausted you. You just wanted to enter your home. You took a deep breath. Panicking wouldn't help you. Ugh. Okay. Think. Stopping the search for a moment, you try to retrace your steps from this morning. I've only opened this bag a few times today. I took my phone out, got my wallet to pay for lunch at the cafeteria. If something had fallen out my bag, I'd probably have noticed it. But if they're not here, then where? Where would they be? Your eyes traveled to the door, more specifically, to your lock. Ugh. You've got to be kidding me. Dropping your bag down to the ground, you stopped. It was suddenly obvious. You knew why your keys weren't with you. They were still in the lock, inside of the apartment. That has to be like really unfortunate because like, what is it? Not only is it cold outside, but like, it's always like that thing where you're always forgetting that you leave stuff behind. It's like, I do it all the time and it's like not fun. Like, I get like that if I like lose my lip gloss or something and I'm like, I need it, but like, it's just not fun at all. Earlier today, you needed to run to not miss your first bus. Train. You had an important presentation for one of your classes and couldn't afford arriving late to it. So you unlocked the door, put on the shoes that stood outside, and stormed out without looking back. The door slammed shut behind you, and in this rush, you simply forgot to take the keys back from the lock before going out. Oh, crap. I couldn't believe it. How could I be this stupid? You wanted to punch a wall. The situation could have been easily prevented. Your lack of attention made you furious at yourself. But a shiver running down your spine brought you back to reality. You needed to think of a solution, and quick. You couldn't be mad at yourself later when you're not outside. Wait, sorry. Let me reread that again. My bad. You could be mad at yourself later when you're not outside freezing. But now, your spare keys were also in your apartment, somewhere in the drawer in your bedroom. Until that moment, you had never used them or given them to anyone you trusted. Another mistake. It was too late to call the landlord for help. You surely didn't want to disturb him at such a time, and he wouldn't be very nice to you if you did so. Maybe the credit card trick? You remember hearing that you could try slipping a card in between the door and the frame to unlock it. That might help. Getting your wallet, you grabbed the random old card that you no longer use. Screwing up your actual bank card with this is too risky. Who would have thought that keeping junk like this in your wallet could come in handy one day? I definitely need to get rid of some old stuff. And full of hope, you put the card in the gap. Please work. You moved it around with difficulty. Tried to wiggle it and pushed on it. You tried and tried. The card was even bent afterwards. The lock didn't budge though. It was nothing. Ugh. A deafened sigh came from you. You knew the locks were good. After someone tried to break into your neighbor's house years ago, the landlord had the apartment become more secure. It made you feel safer to live there, but ironically now you found yourself wishing it was easier to break in. The only thing left to do was to call a locksmith. That's going to be so expensive. Taking out your phone, you did a quick search online. A few numbers came up. You decided to call the first one. It rang and rang. Ugh. No answer. So you tried the second one. Come on. Apparently it didn't exist anymore. And to your relief, the last number seemed to be available. It rang, and after a long, tense second, someone picked up. He talked to a woman and briefly explained the situation. She said she'd be there. She said there was a locksmith who could help you. She said there could be a locksmith who could come to your place. But due to the bad weather and the fact that your apartment is basically on the other side of town, it would take around an hour to an hour and a half for him to arrive. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night. Likewise. Hanging up the phone after arranging the service, you crouched to the ground. Your hands were ice cold. The thought of waiting there for so long sounded so terrible. But where else could you go? The places that would still be open at this time were mostly in the city center. The shops nearby were already closed except for a small 24/7 convenience store that you didn't really like going to. The guy who worked the night shift there has a really weird vibe. The few times you went there after work to buy a snack, you regretted it. You were pretty sure he had killed a man. Wondering if someone's places would be a vital option at that point, you thought of Miss Lima. She was one of the neighbors who lived downstairs. A lovely older lady who would definitely invite you to come in, even though it was so late. If only she was home. In winter, she would escape the cold and travel to the country where she was born and raised to visit some of the family who still lived there. while you were deep in the snow. It was warm enough to walk down the stairs in flip-flops and a short-sleeved shirt in her hometown. You were a little jealous as you thought about how nice it would be if they were warm right now. You also wish that your best friend was closer to you. She would have loved to help you too. Maybe I deserve this. It can only be some kind of punishment or... Sally? A familiar voice suddenly spoke up and caught your attention, breaking your dramatic moment. That's okay, that's the neighbor. When you looked up and met his gaze, you recognized the young man standing there before you. Kian, the new neighbor. He had been living in the building for about a month in the apartment next to yours. He introduced himself to you and the other neighbors the week he arrived. Since then, you've met a few times in the hallway. Even though you haven't talked much, he was always very nice. The severe expression he usually had on his face always changed to a sweet smile when he greeted you. Now, though, his face showed a certain certainty. Hey. Picking up your bag from the floor, you got up. Even now, standing in front of him, he seems so much taller than you. You looked down to the closed plastic bag that he carried. It looked like garbage. He wants to throw the trash out and I'm blocking the way. Sorry, let me move. Taking a quick step to the side, you made way for him to walk through, but he remained in the same spot. No, it's all good. I just wanted to ask if everything was alright. The surprise of being approached in the hallway almost made you forget, for a second, why you were still outside of your apartment. You can't blame his confusion by seeing you crouched down in the middle of the hallway like that. Part of you didn't want to share what happened, but you didn't have enough energy to come up with an excuse to explain your situation. So, you just said it straight away. I'm locked out. Oh. Have you lost your keys? No. They're inside. Still in the lock. Losing them would have probably been worse, but it definitely sounded stupid enough to say out loud that you had locked yourself out. A brilliant move, I know. It can happen to anyone. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Do you need any help? A nice roundhouse kick directly to my lock would be nice. I'm afraid I stopped taking taekwondo practice too early. He chuckled and you couldn't help but smile a little. I've called a locksmith and he's coming over, but thanks for asking. I just wish he would arrive faster. I was told he's going to take more than an hour to come, and till then I might be frozen. As you spoke out, another shiver ran down your back. But are you gonna wait out here for him? I don't know yet. I might go to the convenience store around the corner, sit down there and wait, but that dude who works there is pretty creepy. Exactly. You noticed it too, right? I'm still figuring out what to do. He looked at you for a couple of seconds, as if he's considering something. Would you like to come in and wait for the locksmith at my place? Huh? He said he'll take a while to come. You can stay in my apartment and warm up until he's here. Is he really inviting me in? You didn't expect him to suggest that, and the thought of that caused a warm sensation to spread across your cheeks. It's already late. You probably want to go to sleep or have something else to do. All my extremely important 3 a.m. plans can be put off until later. Don't worry. It's really fine. I wasn't gonna sleep right now anyways. However, if you don't feel comfortable coming in, and that's the problem, I completely understand. Feel free to decline. Oh man. The concept of going into a stranger's house so late didn't suit you. Then he really wasn't a stranger, was he? You didn't know each other that well, but he lived in the apartment literally next to yours and seemed like a nice person. There was no reason to deny an invitation like that. especially when you truly didn't want to stay outside with that weather. Not to say that, but he's also very charming. If it's really not a problem, I would like that. Thank you very much, Can. Don't mention it. I just wanted to bring this downstairs if you don't mind. He lifted the garbage bag that he was still holding. Would you like to go in already? I can open the door for you and I'll be back in a second. I can just wait here, it's okay. He nodded and went quickly down the stairs. Oh my gosh, okay, so I kind of hate that I know this is like Yandere themed, but I don't know, like that's how they kind of get you when like the neighbors are not, what's it called? When the person, the love interest, depending on some ones I read, sometimes the character doesn't seem like crazy and that's how they get you in. But him, he's just like so like you just wouldn't expect it. That's like I'm kind of like thrown off a little bit with the demeanor he's giving, because I don't know, could he just be like really crazy or could he just be like, I don't know, like where on the line is he? Okay. After he put the bag in the one of the garbage cans next to the building, he walked back up. Taking out a small bundle of keys from the pocket of his jacket, he grabbed one of them. You stood a little awkwardly next to him as you waited for the door to be opened. From the proximity to him, you could see his dark green hair decorated with several snowflakes from his quick trip to the ground floor. It looked beautiful. Trying not to stare, you looked away. After unlocking the door, he turned to you and gestured for you to enter first. Please. As you walked into the apartment, the first thing you noticed was how warm it is. So comfortable, in contrast to the cold outside. And he also gets this nice music, just settling us in, isn't he? There was also a very good smell in the air. He didn't know exactly what it was, but it was sweet. Kian took off his shoes and left them neatly in the doorway, hanging his jacket up afterwards. He put his keys on the small tray. It looked like it was in the middle of a blue crystal. He bent down to take off your snow-damp sneakers, feeling relieved to finally get rid of them. Should I leave my shoes outside? They're a little wet. You can just put yours next to mine. You did as he suggested and put your jacket away as well. Turning around, you took a look at his apartment. It was the same size as yours and had the same layout, although the way he had it arranged, the furniture made the space seem a bit larger. Please, make yourself at home. You thanked him with a nod and sat on the sofa. Ian sat down on the other side, giving you plenty of room to yourself. If you don't mind me asking, why are you still awake? Usually most people are asleep by now. You attempted to avoid silence before it even started. For a second, he seemed a little surprised that you had started a conversation with a question about him. Let's just say that my sleep rhythm isn't the best. I often have insomnia. And today's one of those days, I imagine. Yeah. At the beginning, it truly bothered me, but I've learned to deal with it very well over the years. Instead of struggling for hours trying to sleep, I just go and do other things until I can feel tired. Which turns out to be useful for my work. I end up finishing a lot of projects when I can't sleep. Over the years, you said, I can't imagine having insomnia for that long. I'm always very irritated when I can't sleep and I feel like crap the next day. I think the only good thing about staying awake is that at night everything feels slower and calmer. The peace at night is indeed nice. But why do you use this time when you can't sleep to work? Do you work overtime in the early hours? What do you work with? You realized how nosy you sounded, but your curiosity was great. He chuckled at the bombardment of questions. I'm a video editor. You raised your eyebrows. Some of the projects are more complex.
Others have shorter deadlines, so that extra time is welcome. I finished several jobs when I couldn't sleep. I see. What kind of videos do you work on? A bit of everything, really. I've worked on music videos, short films, production for events. As a freelancer, I'm open to different proposals. That's actually very cool. You look like you work with something creative. I thought you'd say I'd more of a computer science guy or so. Could also be, but you do already know. But sorry, I'm trying to like get into character with these voice lines. I'm like really sorry. I'm like messing up. Could also be, but what you do now already sounds fitting. So, for some reason, do you like your job? Yeah. Sometimes it's a bit stressful, of course. Dealing with difficult clients can test your patience. But it's generally very fun. I like being able to use my creativity. If you'd like, I can show you something of it I've edited later. Sure, I'd love to see it. I wonder if you've ever worked on something that I've seen before. Sounds exciting. What about you? What do you do? If someone had asked you this would have been in the presence of your mother, the situation would have been a little awkward. To her, saying that you work in a bar sounds like you're telling people you're that's actually funny, hold on. That's actually hilarious, but oh my gosh. You're telling people that it sounds like you're a stripper, even though you only serve drinks to customers from behind a counter. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the job. It paid your bills and nothing weird ever happened to you there. I'm a bartender at the Lemon Ginger downtown. The perfect job for someone who can't drink alcohol. So you haven't tried the drinks you've made? I used to, but when I was learning to mix them, nowadays I don't. Please, tell me you can do cool tricks while mixing. You should see me juggling the liquor bottles. He laughs, seeming satisfied to your answer. And I'm also studying journalism at Serene University. Huh? You look like you'd make a good journalism. Thank you. My 9-year-old self was looking forward to it. My 9-year-old self probably had other plans for myself. There was a smile on his face, but he felt like that sounded a little off somehow. Before he had a chance to think about it, he suddenly stood up from the couch. I'm sorry. What a bad host I am. I haven't offered you anything yet. That's totally fine. Would you like something to drink? Coffee? Tea? Sure, I love coffee, but right now tea would be great. What do you like? I have fiddle, chamomile, mint, wildberry. The last flavor is my favorite. Wild blueberries then would be great. Alright, I'll be right back. As he headed for the kitchen and you were alone in the living room, you couldn't help but yawn. You had such a long day. The tiredness seemed to become heavier by the minute. Around this time, I would have had a hot shower, or even better, a bath, or be in my PJs under the blanket. Oh, I miss my bed. It seemed that being locked out of your apartment intensified the desire to be there even more. You shook your head to yourself. While you were waiting for Kian, you remained seated on the couch, but your eyes wandered around his living room, exploring it a little bit. The lights he had at the entrance, living room, and small dining room created such a nice ambiance. You did not expect to see how organized everything was. Kian's place threw the stereotype of Guy's apartment being messy out on the window. And even made you a little bit ashamed of your own apartment. Man, I really need to do some deep cleaning this weekend. Remember that even 2 months after moving into your new place, there were still some things to tidy up, furniture and appliances to buy. At that time, you had just moved out of your parents' house and barely had enough money to support yourself. It wasn't easy, but for the sake of your inner peace and freedom from your parents' overbearing control, you'd do it all over again. And while lost in your thoughts, you look at one of his bookshelves.
You wondered what he liked to read. No way. In one of the shelves, a particular object caught your eye. Your eyes widened at this surprise when you saw a little mamushka doll. You couldn't see it up close because you were still on the couch, but from where you were sitting, it looked very similar to the one that you had on your nightstand. She's just like my Angelica. The little doll was so precious to you that you gave her a name. She was a gift from your grandmother from one of her trips many years ago. One of your most beloved gifts in the world, and your neighbor happened to have one too. What a coincidence. The sound of approaching footsteps made you turn your head in their direction, and you saw Kian come to the room. He carefully placed a teacup and 2 cups on the coffee table and turned to you. The sweet aroma of tea filled the air. Sugar? Yes. No, thank you. He took the pot and delicately poured the tea into the porcelain cups. What a wonderful smell. Very nice, isn't it? I always drink it when I'm working late. Funny how I didn't drink tea before. I only started when I got to uni and gradually came to love it. You remarked, observing the steam rising from the dark liquid. I always loved it. He carefully took one of the cups. But it can take time to fall in love with something different than what you're used to. He held up the cup for you on a saucer, locking eyes with you. Okay, I don't know why that line was so weird to say. I don't know. That's kind of sus to me. I don't know. Sorry. I'm trying to just get this guy's character. He's something about him. I really want to know what he does. What skeleton does he have in his closet? You blinked. The way he spoke, it looked at you. You felt your face becoming warmer. Receiving the tea with a quiet thanks, you looked away before you lost your cool. Did he flirt with you? Nope. Red flag. Red flag. Red flag. Nah, that wasn't it. Get yourself together, Sally. Trying your best to ignore the warmth on your face. The kicker pounds in your chest. You focus on the cup in front of you. The hot beverage had an intense reddish purple color. You slipped attentively away. It tastes even more delicious than it smells. I'm glad you liked it. I prepared the blend of herbs and fruit myself. No way! You blend your own tea? So you can mix drinks and I can't make my own tea? Touché. Another one of my late night activities. What a productive insomnia you have. Not always, but thank you. I can prepare a package for you if you'd like. Normally this would be a situation where you'd say, don't worry about it, out of politeness, but it was so delicious you actually wanted to have more of it later. I'd love to. As the two of you kept talking, you didn't even feel the time passing by. Kian was greater company than you expected, and you found yourself genuinely having fun just drinking tea together and chatting. He was easy to talk to. You liked that. He told you a little about his story and how he came to live there, which made you more intrigued to know more about his past. And before you knew it, he opened up as well. You told him how you decided to study journalism, although your parents weren't happy with the decision. And he shared your vision about doing something you truly wanted, even at the cost of not fulfilling other people's expectations. You wondered if he also had trouble with his family, if he even had family. But then, even though you were enjoying the conversation, you felt very tired, to the point where your eyes felt heavier by the minute. Sally? Yeah. Would you excuse me for a minute? I need to use the bathroom. Of course. As he went away,
You pressed your palms against your face. Stay awake. The locksmith will finally be here soon. However, tiredness seemed to have a much stronger than your willpower at that very moment. You wondered why this couch was just so uncomfortable. What if he spiked the tea? If he said he makes it himself, I don't trust the tea anymore. Like, that's so weird. I don't know why. I'm literally giving this man like a whole. I'm just watching his every move. While you felt yourself slightly sinking into your seat. And if this is how quicksand feels, even when you get trapped into it, then just for a second, you closed your eyes, drifting away before you could even notice. Yeah. But that didn't feel right. You should not be sleeping. Wake up, Sally. You slowly opened your eyes, feeling groggy. The feeling was the same as when you took a nap after school as a child and woke up at night, completely disoriented. You needed a little time to finally come back to your senses and remember where you were. Kian's place. My keys. My keys! The locksmith. The locksmith! You immediately searched for your phone to see what time it was. As you grabbed it and turned the phone on, your eyes went wide. You had passed out for 2 hours. 2 entire hours. That couldn't be true. In a jump, you got back on your feet, looking around for Kian. And with perfect timing, your neighbor showed up at the living room, looking as if he had just came from the kitchen. Kian, the locksmith, I fell asleep and the guy's probably already gone. I wasn't there. There was nobody there and he must have gone away. Sally, what am I supposed to do now? Call someone and wait all over again? Sally, please calm down. He put aside the cup he was holding and walked over to you. Don't worry. I've already taken care of it. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, no. We just met. Okay, I'm like on a heightened sense of paranoia right now. I don't trust him. I know we're supposed to be nice to neighbors, but no. He's been doing all the wrong things, and I don't know if I'm the only one tracking it, but I'm just raising up these flags. No. You what? When he arrived, I was there, so I talked to him myself. The service is already done. We've got your keys back. He went to the dresser in the hallway. From the blue tray where he kept his apartment keys, he took something else. And walking back to you, he put it in your hands. You looked down to inspect what you just received. Seeing the familiar keychain, there's no doubt that those were your keys. You finally had them back. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. But I don't understand. You worked it out by yourself? Why didn't you wake me up? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just saying it wasn't your duty. It was your duty to wake me up. I shouldn't have fallen asleep here in the first place. That was absolutely stupid and I don't know what happened to me. I'm just so tired. That's so embarrassing. Hey, it's all perfectly fine. Don't stress over it. I noticed how tired you were earlier, so when I came back to the room and saw you, I couldn't bring myself to wake you up. I thought it would be fair to let you get some rest. So sorry that I didn't call you when the locksmith arrived. You took a deep breath to collect yourself. You shouldn't be apologizing. I'm the one who's actually caused this. You've done a lot to help me. I really appreciate it. Falling asleep on your neighbor's couch the first time you visit him wasn't necessarily how he wanted things to go. But it seemed like everything was out of your control tonight. I hope the service was at least quick and... Oh my gosh! You paid the guy yourself, didn't you? How much did he charge you? I'm so sorry. You had to deal with this. Please tell me how much I owe you. He just chuckled. Don't worry. It wasn't that expensive. All right, but how much was it? You don't need to worry about it. Huh? No, come on, Kian. Tell me. I need to pay you. You don't need to. The one who invites pays. It's a clear rule. What the heck is that supposed to mean? I'm not gonna let you pay for the locksmith. This makes no sense. You were in disbelief about the situation. It was your responsibility, not his. You know what? I have a better idea. You can invite me for coffee later. Then we'll call it even. Coffee? Like a date? And again, he caught you off guard. The way he curled up his lips and said it so naturally made you feel a certain type of way. But before you noticed, the words made their way out of your mouth. Sounds nice. Then we have a deal. But wait, I just don't think it's a fair exchange. You'd have to drink like more than 10 coffees for me to pay you back when I owe you. Make it 20. Huh? I'm joking. I think it's fair enough. This guy. And before I forget, there's something else for you. He picked up a small package and handed it to you. Your tea. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. He actually picked up some of the tea He actually picked up some of the tea to give to you. It was nicely packaged. Well, holding up the package, he smiled. You had better get going. I've already enjoyed your hospitality even more than enough. Got my keys back and a gift. Now you can have your peace again. Thanks so much for helping me out. You smiled at him, truly grateful. It was a pleasure. Have a nice rest of your night, yeah? You too. Despite the unexpected nap, you still felt exhausted. Going home and sleeping on your bed was all you wanted. And he hoped that with you being gone, maybe he would be able to get some sleep as well. So as you went to the entrance, grabbed your jacket, and put on your shoes, they were still damp, but you didn't mind. You were almost home. Even you were ready to leave, he walked to the door and held it open for you. Good night, Sally. Good night, Kian. I don't know. Okay, I feel so bad. What if he's actually like really nice and I'm just trying to peg him for like the creepy neighbor next door and he's actually not? But this is what these do to you. They make you second guess who actually is like the crazy person, and then I don't know, like there's some really good psychological like things in here that's making you really second guess. And I'm like falling for it every time. Oh my gosh. Despite the cold from outside, you still felt warm. Walking down the corridor to your own apartment felt great. The relief to open the door even more. Thank goodness. You practically kicked your sneakers off your feet, hung your jacket up in the hallway, and walked inside. And going over to your room, you put aside the tea you got from your neighbor before taking your phone out. Looking at the time displayed on the screen, you mentally calculated how long you were able to sleep. You're not happy with the result. It made you wonder if it would have been feasible to not go to your first class in the morning and got some decent sleep. And before you went to the bathroom to get yourself ready to go to bed, you stopped and took your phone again. You were thankful that Kian helped you with everything, but still couldn't come to terms with the fact that he had paid for the service. It made no sense. The idea of buying him coffee was really sweet, and you were looking forward to seeing you again.
but you hated the idea of owing people money, even when they assured you that you didn't have to pay them back. So you decided that it would be indeed pay him back the next time you met, whether or not, and you impulsively called the locksmith's number again. You thought that if he doesn't want to tell you how much it was, you could find it for yourself. Oh my gosh, hold on. What if we find out that the locksmith never came? Sorry, I said nether. This is in Minecraft. What if the locksmith never came and he went into her house? Oh my gosh, hold on. Maybe my red flags is they're waving. They're like waving in my face. That's gonna be such a good twist. Oh my gosh. After a few rings, the same lady from earlier answered the phone. You identified yourself to her, said that the locksmith service was carried out for you a bit ago and that you would like to know how much it cost. Maybe it sounded a little bit weird, so you told her that someone else had paid it for you. 1 second, please. She seemed to be checking something. Ah. Well, it didn't cost anything because you canceled the service. The annoyance in her tone was clear. Excuse me? I must say that our guy was not happy about driving all the way there for nothing. He was already in your neighborhood when he received the call, calling it off. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. He came here and opened the door. I never called it off. Your boyfriend did. My boyfriend? Yes. He said that you guys had a spare... He said... Sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I can't read because, like, literally right now, I knew I was right. Oh my gosh. Like, that theory just, like, literally just got confirmed, like, right then and there. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Like, I'm, like, literally geeking out right there. Sorry. He said that you guys had found a spare key, managed to open the door, and that the work was no longer necessary. Your stomach twisted. Look, miss, I suggest not doing something like this again, but be sure of the work being needed before you call, because nobody wants to have their time wasted. Ugh. I understand. My sincere apologies for the inconvenience. You hung up the call. For the lingering moment, you stayed in silent, holding the phone in your hand. Until you put it in the pocket of your hands and walked out of your bedroom. You went to where you left your shoes, putting them back on again. Your jacket stayed on the hanger, and you didn't even bother taking it. And grabbing your keys, you walked out, going to Kian's apartment. You had to pay your neighbor a visit again earlier than you thought. You rang the doorbell. It took a moment. Kian opened the door. He stood there and looked at you with surprise before smiling. Hey, I thought you were already sleeping. Oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. I don't know why, like, I'm getting second. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't. I don't know, like, would you, like, go confront the guy? Or would you just, like, kind of, like, not act? I don't know, like, what would you do in this situation? Because it's so weird. Completely ignoring what he said. You just walked into his apartment. And then we just walk into his apartment. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Sally, is everything alright? So what did you do that for? Seemingly confused, he turned to you, trying to get a look at your face. What are you talking about? You grabbed him by the neck and pushed him against the wall. I just found out what you did with the locksmith. How did you open my door? Your fingers around his throat were squeezing it. Ugh! You looked like he couldn't breathe. Oh, he looked like he couldn't breathe. Sorry. That was a nice play that you pulled there. Really fooled me. Your voice was cold. Your tone was almost unrecognizable. Realizing that you were choking him, you loosened the hold of your fingers on his neck, just enough so that he can breathe. He pulled in for a sharp breath. Look, Kian, I don't know what was on your mind when you decided to do that, but I will tell you something.
You could feel the warm air of his desperate breath against your skin. If you think you can pull some of that kind of silly, dirty trick, stalk me. Get into my apartment or whatever it is that you want. Think again. I can assure you, I can destroy you. As if your words ignited something else in him. His eyes started to look different, and a sudden smile appeared on his lips. Oh my gosh, no, 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 oh my gosh, Yandere boy turned bad. He turned bad. You know what, Sally? That was much, much better than I expected. Oh my gosh, is that the ending? No, oh my gosh, no. That was the ending. Oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh, like, no, I need a part 2. Like, I need to know what happened. Oh my gosh, please, developer, please make another part, because like that was really good. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one that caught the red flag, because I don't know, it's just so weird how he was kind of like going about things and moving a little bit too fast, and then like, oh my gosh. Okay, we just need to know. I hope there's another 2 dropping. I said another part 2 dropping, because I need to know if Sally's okay. And I don't know, I really like Sally. She's a really good main character, and oh my gosh, Kian, perfect. Like, he's a perfect guy. Oh my gosh, like, this, it's someone that he's like someone you wouldn't expect to be like that. So like, I just want to know like now more about him and what his obsession is, and like what made him like want to be obsessed with Sally. Like, ugh, like, come on, like, that's so crazy. Oh my gosh, I need more. Please, Slowlytee. Please, I think that's a developer. Yes, please make another part 2. I need it. Okay, let me do my outro before I just sit here and like giddy too much. But that is it for this visual novel, and I absolutely adored this. Literally 10 out of 10, and it's definitely something that made me really happy that I'm getting back into visual novels, because the fact that I found this one and it was so good, I'm just in love and I want to find more now. I'm also going to check to see if the developer made more games, and I will also check back to see if the developer will make more games, because this is just chef's kiss, beautiful. So please go send love and support to the creator of this game. Please subscribe if you want to be a part of my channel as we get back to enjoying the nice visual novels and stuff that we find, and like the video to let me know that you enjoyed it and that you'd like to see more. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.